What's up, guys? It's me. So, the movie lover is back with the brand new Oscar prediction nominations for 2025. This time, this is going to be the January edition. Now, this is going to be before the Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, and SAGs, so just know that I'm going to try to get most of these right before the major televised awards start coming in. So, let's see how many I could get right before the awards. So, number one is Anora. Now that I've seen the film, I'm not really sure if the film is going to win because the film does feel a bit small, but I do see that a lot of people are passionate about it, so that's why it still remains in the number one spot. And a film that I could really see upsetting is Conclave. Because of the guaranteed screenplay lock, both Anora and Conclave have, these two are basically lock and lock for Best Picture. And then we have The Brutalist, which could also win because of the director, but I do see this missing editing, and I do see this being too controversial in a sense that not a lot of people would want to sit through a 3 hour and 30-minute film with an intermission that isn't directed by Christopher Nolan and isn't Oppenheimer. So basically, I think that this is going to be too much. It does give me a lot of The Irishman vibes, but The Irishman at least had that Martin Scorsese element going for it, and a lot of Francis Ford Coppola and PTA films have the name recognition of the directors. Sadly, Bradley Corbett is not that much of an esteemed director where he just gets nominated for everything he does. So this is his first break in the award season. I don't see The Brutalist winning, but I do see it getting nominated very easily. And then I have Wicked. Wicked's a lock to get nominated, but the only reason why, technically speaking, it makes sense why Wicked would do well in a preferential ballot. But if you look at the logistics, in order for a film to win Best Picture, you need to win two screenplay awards. Either one of the screenplay awards or Best Director, and at least editing. So I don't see Wicked winning any of those. That's why I don't think that Wicked's gonna win, and I don't think it has any shot to win whatsoever, even if it sounds good on paper. But I do have it getting nominated pretty easily. And then you have Emilia Perez. Now, Emilia Perez, I don't know why, but it's doing so well with every single awards body that I just think that it's going to get in no matter what controversy, no matter what. And James Cameron just went out and say that this is one of the most extraordinary films you've seen all year. And Denis Villeneuve and filmmakers, a lot of filmmakers are expressing their love and support and their admiration for this ambitious film. So I think that Emilia Perez gets in, no doubt whatsoever. And then Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 is slipping. It is slipping, and I don't even want to admit it, but it is slipping so bad that it might miss a lot in a lot of categories, and I'm predicting it to miss in several key categories that it even got nominated from last year for the first Dune film. So it's slipping, but I still think it's a lock to get in for Best Picture safely. And then we have Nickel Boys. Nickel Boys, I see the screenplay director package. Anjanou Ellis might get in. I don't know why, but I feel like the Nickel Boys will have a very good showing in the Oscar morning because of the subject matter, because of how it's filmed, and how the Oscars want to honor this new type of vision in cinema. So that's why I have Nickel Boys. And then we have The Substance. Guys, until when are you going to doubt The Substance? I was a doubter of The Substance back then, but now with the Golden Globe nominations, with every single critics group giving this film a win or a nomination, Demi Moore getting nominated every single place she possibly could, and Margaret Qualley even winning some awards, I believe that we cannot underestimate The Substance anymore. I think it's a lock to get in, and the fact that we have a pretty secure top 8 is very good to me. Sing Sing is a lot of people's favorite movies of the year. The Golden Globe snub did put some pain and some damage into the Sing Sing basket, but I do think it's going to ultimately get in because of the actors, because it's getting nominated for screenplay, and because of the subject matter and how much people gravitate towards it. If you look at this list, the only films that really make people feel good are Sing Sing and Wicked. The films that make people cry, it's Sing Sing. So Sing Sing will get in, and then I have A Complete Unknown. Remember a few videos I said A Real Pain doesn't feel like the type to get nominated, and then I had to put it back in because people were all saying, oh, it's going to get nominated for Best Picture. Well, I'm going to go back to the sentiment I had 2 months ago where I don't think A Real Pain is going to get in, and I think A Complete Unknown is getting in. This thing has box office. This thing has a winning conversation for Timothée Chalamet. And it also has that Oscar bait quality, and people, critics, audiences are really, really liking the film because it isn't just a standard biopic. It's actually elevating that genre, and it's actually telling a story worth the legend, the myth, and the man himself. Bob Dylan, so I think that it's going to get in. And then I have September 5 for number 12 because September 5 has that editing nomination and that screenplay nomination, which could be pretty dangerous. And I do think that it could just surprise out of nowhere. It could be that darkest hour where no one wants to see it, but it just happens for no reason whatsoever. So we'll see. And next I have Challengers. Now Challengers I could see get in. I don't know why, but I see a world where Challengers could get in because it's doing so well critically. It's doing so well with the awards body so far. More than I've been expecting, to be honest. So there you go. And The Seed of the Sacred Fig, I had this in earlier in the years. Not anymore. It's kind of died down. Next we have Best Director. Brady Corbett. Oh, sorry, that's supposed to be Brady, please ignore the Bradley, but Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, he's gonna win because he's sweeping off the critics' circles, and usually the person who wins the critics' choice and are sweeping the critics wins Best Director. So, and plus he has a great narrative with the budgeting, with the cinematic monumental, get the pun, achievement that Brady Corbett has shown to us. And I've seen The Brutalist and it is worth it. It does feel like a film directed by Paul Thomas Anderson and Christopher Nolan's love child. So I do see it getting in based on pure merit alone, even if Brady Corbett has no name recognition whatsoever with the Academy. And then I have Sean Baker and Nora. He is pretty much a lock. We have the two locks out of the way. Now let's go to Jacques Audiard. Like I said, a lot of filmmakers and a lot of people in the industry are supporting Jacques Audiard and his vision for Emilia Perez, so I don't see this film missing out on major nominations whatsoever. And then I have Cory LaFarge for The Substance. Now, some of you might call me crazy, but that Critics' Choice nomination, that Golden Globe nomination, that screenplay nom at the Golden Globes, that picture nom at Critics' Choice, it says something. It says a story, and that story ends with Cory LaFarge getting nominated for Best Director. It makes no sense whatsoever why this film isn't getting any of below the nom tech nominations besides makeup, but at least Cory LaFarge is going to get nominated for that incredible, impeccable technical mastery that she shows in The Substance. So there you go. And then I have Ramel Ross for The Nickel Boys. Ramel Ross is singled out as the Best Director of the Year with many critics groups because of the way the film is shot. Now, a lot of people are saying that some people might have a problem with the way the film is shot because it is in first-person POV and it takes a while to get used to. I haven't seen the film yet, so I'm not sure what my perspective is when it comes to how it's done, but I've seen other people's take on it, and I've seen other people give this film the award itself for Best Director because of this innovative vision. And I feel like the director's branch is really going to admire what Ramel Ross has been able to bring to the table when it comes to filmmaking, when it comes to cinema, and further expanding what cinema could be. So I feel like Ramel Ross has a safe spot. And then you'd imagine that I have Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2 next. No, I actually have Edward Berger because I feel like directors would gravitate more towards Conclave than Dune for some reason. And I feel like if Conclave is in the Best Picture winning conversation, Edward Berger has more of a shot than Denis Villeneuve, which is really sad because I see a world where I wake up and I see Denis Villeneuve's name read, and I also see a world where I wake up and I see Edward Berger instead of Coralie or Ramel, and that's going to make me very sad. I hope Denis Villeneuve can squeeze his way into it. That is my wish. Nothing would make me happier. I don't care about any nomination if Denis Villeneuve gets in, but we'll see. And then I have the remaining 8, 9, 10, Mohamed Rasulov for The Seed of the Sacred Fig, Payal Kapadia for All We Imagine Is Light, John M. Chu for Wicked, and none of these are going to get nominated for Best Director. Best Actor, we have Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet, Complete Unknown, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, Coleman Domingo Sing Sing. These four are very safe, and I'm actually pretty confident with the Daniel Craig for Queer as well. So the top 5 pretty much locked in. And then Hugh Grant might get into Critics' Choice, BAFTA, and and Golden Globes, which is pretty funny. I never expected that, but he might actually do that, which is pretty impressive. Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice. This guy's having a really good career narrative so far. With the roles he's choosing, his career is going to peak. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to translate to an Oscar nomination, but he very much so deserves it. That or For a Different Man. Jesse Eisenberg for Real Pain. I saw this earlier, but now I think it's really just Daniel Craig or Hugh Grant. So bye to Jesse Eisenberg. And then Glenn Powell. I had him winning the Golden Globe at first, but I don't even think he's gonna win the Golden Globe anymore. I think it's gonna be Hugh Grant or Sebastian Stan for A Different Man. So there you go. Best Actress is the most stacked for the top 8. I have no idea what to do, but let's just jump in. I remove Nicole Kidman. I don't think she's happening. And I have Mikey Madison for Nora winning. I'm just going to say if Demi Moore and The Substance all gets nominated, I see a world where The Substance wins Best Actress for Demi Moore because of the narrative. It does give me Brendan Fraser vibes. It does give me Natalie Portman vibes because every single body is just nominating Demi Moore. But Mikey Madison has been sweeping, and I cannot deny that. That performance does have a lot of its fans, and probably a Nora, if it does win Best Picture, it has to win actress, or it's just screenplay picture, which doesn't make sense. So there you go. And then I have Carla Sofia Gascon. The narrative is too big. She has been tweeting some controversial stuff recently in Twitter, but I don't think many Academy voters pay attention to that. She's probably just going to get in because of the film and how much the film is adored. And I think it does really help that she also plays the male counterpart version before the transition she has in Emilia Perez. So that's also really going to help. So yeah, there you go. Congrats. And then we have Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. I think Wicked is so hyped right now that she's just going to get in. And then the fifth slot is where I contemplate a lot. A lot of people think Angelina Jolie is a lock. I do not think so whatsoever. I think Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here, Mario and John Baptiste, Hard Truths, which I'm surprised I have at number 7 because she's sweeping as well. And Kate Winslet is biting off the heels of Angelina Jolie. I do think that the Fernanda Torres I'm Still Here nomination is possible because I don't know why. When I close my eyes and I imagine them reading off the Best Actress, I see Mikey Madison, I see Demi Moore, Carla, Fernanda Torres for some reason, but I don't have the bravery to predict it yet. If BAFTA goes for it, then that's going to give me the confidence to just put her up there and see what's going to happen. So there you go. And Kate Winslet for Lee is genuinely scaring me because it's giving me flashbacks to Andrea Riseborough, but I don't think it's going to happen because of how stacked it is. If she was in Best Actor, she probably would have gotten in over Daniel Craig, but Best Actress is just way too stacked. Best Supporting Actor, Kieran Culkin is going to sweep, and if he does sweep, I think he's going to win the Oscar for A Real Pain. If not him, I think it's a Guy Pearce with a combination of BAFTA plus Oscar, like a Mark Rylance kind of win. I do see that world happening as well, but I'm really not sure because if A Real Pain doesn't get into Best Picture, I honestly need to rethink, and if it does, he's absolutely winning. Yuri Borisov for Anora, he's absolutely getting nominated. Clarence Macklin did miss the Golden Globes, but I do see him getting in, redeeming by SAG. I don't know if he's going to get into the BAFTA, but he does have a lot of passion for this performance. A lot of people think he's great. A lot of people think he is the emotional heartbeat of that film with Coleman Domingo, and that film does make them cry, and that film does give them a lesson. So Clarence Macklin, you're pretty safe. I'm doing a little bit of switcheroo for the fifth slot. Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown. I'm going to put him over Denzel Washington because I have Complete Unknown in Best Picture, and Edward Norton is in a lot of that film. And Denzel Washington in Gladiator 2 is simply dying down. Gladiator 2 as a movie is just dying. It is just going to be Napoleon 2.0, and I don't really see it getting into a lot of nomination or major categories, especially above the line. So Edward Norton, congratulations on your nominations. Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice. I have a weird feeling after he got the Golden Globe nomination, I have a dream where he just suddenly gets into the Oscar and takes out Clarence Macklin or Edward Norton or Denzel Washington, but that's just a dream. I don't think it's going to be possible for Jeremy Strong, especially because the movie isn't as widely seen as the top contenders above it. And Stanley Tucci for Conclave would have happened if this category was less stacked. Best Supporting Actress, we have Zoe Saldana, Emilia Perez. I still have Zoe Saldana at number 1 because I do see Emilia Perez taking something, and I don't know why, but I can't imagine Ariana Grande with an Oscar. I see Zoe Saldana. She's so charismatic in the press tour. Her interviews are so sincere, and I do see her campaigning much more for this. And I do think she has more of a career narrative. So there you go, Zoe Saldana. Congrats on your Oscar. And then I have Isabella Rossellini for Conclave. She's getting it absolutely everywhere she needs to. Even critics groups are nominating her over Daniel Deadwyler and Felicity Jones. So there you go. And then I have Margaret Qualley. A lot of people aren't putting Margaret Qualley on their list. I don't know why, because she's been getting every single thing she possibly needs to. What else does she? She might even get SAG and BAFTA. People are seriously underestimating Margaret Qualley. And with The Substance being such a huge player, if you watch The Substance, how do you not nominate Margaret Qualley? It just doesn't make sense to me. Margaret Qualley is absolutely part of the package of The Substance, and I'd be shocked if she's not nominated after getting all the nominations she possibly could. She's even winning in some of the critics groups, so it's insane that some people don't even think that she has a chance, which is just, for me, it's laughable. Number 5 is Anjanou Ellis-Taylor for Nickel Boys. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that Felicity Jones and Daniel Deadwyler are not going to make it in. and Anjanou Ellis-Taylor will have this late surge. So that's where I'm putting it. Felicity Jones is absolutely not getting in everywhere. She's missing a lot of things. I don't even think she's getting into SAG. And she is just, I don't know why, but she's not been getting the things she needed. And I had this feeling that she's going to get snubbed for the Oscar for some reason. And after seeing The Brutalist, I do think that she does enough, but it's easily snubbable, you know? So there you go. Best Original Screenplay of Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, The Substance, all locks. The top 4 is so secured it's not even funny. All of their names on films will be read in Oscar morning. And then I have September 5. September 5, I don't know why. It's a movie about journalists. I just see it getting in. If it doesn't, it's going to be Challengers. And honestly, I could see all of September 5 Challengers Hard Truths. Like, one of them is going to be called, I just don't know what. I can easily imagine them saying Challengers, September 5, or Hard Truths. We'll see what happens, but for now, I'm going to go with this top 5. Next up, we have Best Adapted Screenplay. I have Conclave and Nickel Boys Sing Sing. I feel very confident with these top 3. Now let's get into the last 2 spots. Now, I didn't have Wicked at first, but I'm just not going to deny Wicked at this point. I feel like it's just going to get in because of the love. And then I have Emilia Paris because it has much more industry respect. Dune Part 2, I have it absolutely getting snubbed. I don't know how this can get in after, getting so much disrespect from the industry. I wish it could get in, but I really do think it's going towards more of a route of Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers and Avatar: The Way of Water. As much as I don't want to say it, I'm just going to predict for the worst and hope for the best, so that if I'm wrong, then I could at least be happy. And then I have Complete Unknown, I'm Still Here, Hitman, The Room Next Door. All of them are like 30%, 20% chance, but not as strong as the top 6. Best cinematography is pretty interesting. A lot of people have Maria. I don't have Maria. I have The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Nickel Boys, Conclave as the top 4. I think all of them are going to get nominated. Conclave is the tar pick. I don't know how it's not going to get nominated. And then we have the last spot. Now, I do have a feeling that Nosferatu is going to get snubbed for some technicals, and I might have The Girl in the Needle instead, but for now I'm going to go Nosferatu. Maria, I just don't see happening. I really don't. No one's campaigning for that film. No one knows that film even. That's why the only thing that film is basically heading its socks into is Angelina Jolie for Maria. I have no idea what that term is, but you guys get what I mean. This film is dying. And I could honestly see Emilia Paris just get in for no reason whatsoever as that international pick. Like, remember the year that Roma and that other 3 foreign films got in? I could see that happening here with Nickel Boys and Nosferatu getting snubbed, or Conclave and Nosferatu getting snubbed for Emilia Paris and The Girl with the Needle, but we'll see for now. Best Original Score. With Dune Part 2 out of the way, we have The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Paris for absolute locks. I could see any of them winning. And then I have Challengers, which I think is just going to get in. The one category I'm not that confident is The Wild Robot for the 5th slot for Best Original Score. I do think that The Room Next Door or Wicked could just easily take its spot. I don't know why so many people are confident. I watched the film. It's easily snubbable. They snubbed Spider-Verse. They snubbed a lot of animated films in the past. But for the sake of this top 5 being so strong, I'm just going to make it this top 5. But don't be surprised when I switch to The Room Next Door or Wicked in my next prediction. Best Film Editing, I have The Brutalist snubbed. I have Dune Part 2, Conclave, Emilia Paris, September 5, and Nora. I feel very confident in these films. And then I have Challengers, which could honestly get in because of how good the editing is. And then I have The Brutalist. I think giving Challengers editing and screenplay is too much. I think it's either of those, so I'm going to snub it here. And The Substance, as soon as I didn't see the sound shortlist, as soon as I didn't see it make the sound shortlist, I was like, okay, this is pretty much a bit of a DO for The Substance because it really needed that sound nomination to carry it over to editing. I could still see it make it into editing somehow if they just really love it out of nowhere, but it really should have made the sound shortlist. It had no excuses to get snubbed for that. And The Wicked, if it's not even the top 8, so why are people predicting it to win Best Picture? I don't know. Best Costume Design, I have Wicked, Dune Part 2, Gladiator 2, and I'm going to do something interesting. I'm going to sub Maria again, and I'm going to add Beetlejuice. I just saw the film. It's getting nominated. It's a respected costume designer. It is so flashy, and I just see this Tim Burton movie getting in for makeup and costume. That's in my dream, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I have Conclave getting in because I do think that Conclave will just randomly get in, like The Irishman getting in, like Oppenheimer getting in, but that could also be The Brutalist, so you never know. Maria, the costumes aren't that memorable, and no one's campaigning this film, like I said. I think people are just predicting it for the sake of predicting it, so I'm gonna go off the bandwagon, and I'm just gonna predict that it's not gonna get nominated. Nosferatu, a lot of people are predicting. I don't think it's gonna make it into every single technical. I think they're gonna be very selective on where they put Nosferatu, so there you go. And then A Complete Unknown. Early buzz said that it is nominated. The costume design was really flashy, and it could get nominated. I don't think so anymore. Best sound, we have Dune Part 2, Wicked, Amelia Paris, A Complete Unknown, Gladiator 2. This five feels very safe. The only films I see budging in is Alien Romulus or Blitz, but honestly, the top five seems very secure to me. Alien Romulus is very interesting to me because I don't know if it's going to get into the Oscars, and if it does, that's pretty cool. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the film. I don't even love the film, but that would be pretty cool because that means the Oscars are starting to embrace genre picks. Imagine The Substance, Nosferatu, Alien, Romulus getting into the Oscars. That'd be pretty cool to me. Best production design, I have Wicked. The Brutalist is a film about production designers, so obviously it's getting in. Dune Part 2, I have it snubbed in a lot, but not here. Gladiator 2, I don't know why, but it's just going to get in. And then I have Conclave. This top five feels very safe to me. Conclave, I have no idea why, but I have a very good feeling it's just going to make it. So there you go. And Nosferatu, again, I don't have it getting in here. I don't think it's going to make it into everything, because you got to remember, Nosferatu is a genre pick. And it's controversial. Not everyone loves it. It's not like The Substance. It's not like Get Out. And again, it is not going to make it nowhere near Best Picture. That's why it's not going to get into production design, and Blitz is just kind of dead. Best Makeup and Hair. The Substance and Beetlejuice I originally thought was possible to get snubbed. After watching it, however, and the box office, it's not getting snubbed for makeup. It's so impressive. I can't even imagine how hard it was to do all that makeup. So there you go, Tim Burton movie. You get the spot. And A Different Man, just really creative makeup. And I just see it getting nominated. Border got nominated. And a lot of films like A Different Man get into the Oscars. Wonder got in. So I just see this getting in very easily. And then I have Wicked. Now, usually green makeup movies, hairstyling movies do not get into this category. But the way Cynthia Erivo talks about the makeup process, the freckles, the braids, and the green color to really match Cynthia Erivo's skin color, I just see it getting in because of that, because of how much they're talking about it in the press. I feel like that's a really good narrative for it to actually get a makeup nomination outside of that. And you also have Ariana Grande's hair, which is just very perfect. And then we have Emilia Perez. Like I said, I don't think that Nosferatu is going to get into every single makeup category, and I think a lot of people will get very disappointed that it isn't here. I have a feeling that Emilia Perez is just going to show up for no reason whatsoever. So there you go. And then Dune Part 2, I wish it gets in, but I don't think it's going to get in at this point. Best visual effects, I have Best Dune Part 2. It's going to win this 100%. Gladiator 2, it's going to get nominated. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is also locked. And I have Better Man. A lot of people are loving Better Man. They're digging it like very much. They're falling in love with Robbie Williams, and they just love the way that they use visual effects to integrate the narrative and also make this biopic more of a standout compared to other biopics. So I think that A Better Man is going to get nominated, and I also think Wicked's going to get nominated. Another film I could see possibly get in is Alien Romulus, but I really like the top five I have right now. Some people are still trying to predict Mufasa the Lion King. It's not going to happen. Twisters has more of a shot of getting nominated than Mufasa the Lion King, a film no one has seen, a film that where the visual effects look horrible. Barry Jenkins should be praying every day on why he made this film over another Moonlight, over another If Beale Street Could Talk, over another Underground Railroad. So there you go. Best song. Mi Camino, El Mal. I really think El Mal should win. I don't know why Mi Camino's winning over those two songs, but there you are. They're both getting nominated. The Journey, the 6888, Diane Warren, you're just going to get in. Good luck. Congrats. Harper and Will Go West, I have that getting in. And I have Compress Repress for Challengers getting in. I predicted this for the Golden Globes. I predicted it for Critics' Choice. I'm not going to back down now. I'm going to go all the way with Compress Repress. I think Challengers is very loved in the music branch. I think that this song is very unique. And Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, come on. How can you deny that? Like a Bird from Sing Sing, I could see it get in. But Best Picture nominees like Past Lives, Parasite didn't get in. So there you go. And then I have Kiss the Sky from The Wild Robot. Kiss the Sky, a lot of pundits have it in. I just think that it's going to get snubbed at the end of the day. It's not that memorable, and not a lot of people are really listening to it and recalling it. It did get the Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, but I just see it getting snubbed for some reason. I don't know why. It's like an instinct that I cannot foresee or foretell, but I just know it's going to happen. And when I come back to this video, it's either I'm going to be like, oh wow, I did such a good guess, or I'm going to be like, oh, I should have went with the safe 5. So that's it for my predictions for January. I'm going to be doing my Golden Globe and Critics' Choice predictions in my next video. I'm going to combine them. So guys, please check that out, and thank you very much.